CFO guidance. They prioritize digital integration, and their exceptional staff will make your life and even taxes so much easier. Their client list is a who's who of nonprofits and entrepreneurs. Clients who've stayed with them for years and won't go anywhere else. So if you need financial or tax help for your business or nonprofit, contact KMLPC today at kml-pc.com. That's kml-pc.com. kml-pc.com. And mention the mentors.
And now, back to the mentors, where remarkable CEOs challenge your thinking about life and business.
Welcome back. This is Tom Lloyd. I'm an author. I'm a Matthew Kelly, author of 45 books. And that includes his most recent foray into nonfiction, which is The Rocking Chair Prophet, which we were talking a little bit about today. So you talk in the book of noble service. What do you mean by noble service and how important?
Well, the easier lessons I've learned in life is that the more I think about myself, the unhappier I am. And in order to stop thinking about myself, and I think this is probably true for many, many people, we have to switch the focus onto other people. And that is when noble service. Because our capacity to be aware of other people's needs, our capacity to be aware, our capacity to walk into a room and ask the question, okay, who in this room is suffering the most or struggling the most? And then do something to ease that person's pain is an extraordinary capacity, you know. It's an amazing gift, it's an extraordinary ability. But in order to trigger that kind of awareness, we first have to stop thinking about ourselves, because that is a spiral of misery and unhappiness that I think many, many of us fall into.
So last year I had somebody from AA come on the show and talk about the 12-step program. And I'm sure not that you went to AA. I went to ACOA because my dad was an alcoholic. But you get down to what, fourth or fifth step, and or beyond that, you're talking about going out and helping others. And that's really the path out of addiction, is helping others and focusing on other people. So you're right in tune with that in terms of what I've heard. And so then let's switch gears, talk about the meaning of life, which is a pretty big subject. And what is your take on the meaning of life, and what is the source of real happiness?
So, I mean, as I have sort of repeated and affirmed over the past 30 years, I believe that you're here to become the best version of yourself. I believe I'm here to become the best version of myself. And for the most part, we know the people, things, and experiences that are helping us become the best version of ourselves, and those that are not. More importantly, we know when we are helping other people become the best version of themselves, and when we are an obstacle to other people becoming all they were created to be. Some food helps you become the best version of yourself. You don't need a list. You know the ones that some content that you watch on television helps you become a better version of yourself, and some doesn't. Again, you don't need a list. That voice within you is very clear about the things that do and don't help you become the best version of yourself. And this is, I think, a very simple way of looking at life. It is very difficult to consistently choose the best version of yourself throughout the day. I'm going to say it again. It is astoundingly difficult to consistently choose the best version of yourself throughout the day. It sounds like a very simple idea, and it is, but the difficulty of applying it to our lives is significant. It requires courage, it requires real rigor, and it requires a detachment from outcomes that most of us are not willing to surrender to.
So surrender is a big deal.
It is a big deal. We're trying to control so many things, we're trying to control so many outcomes that we miss out on so much of life and so much of self.
And when you're not with the kids, with your wife, and writing books, what else do you like to do with your time?
I mean, I still love to golf. I love to play the piano. I love investing. It's just a real passion of mine. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, so I do love that. I love art, and I started a watch shop with my children. It's called Every Watch Has a Story, and it sells new and used timepieces, watches, and that has been a magical journey with the kids as well in business.
You collect watches?
I do collect watches, yeah, and have for a long time.
I do too. I've thought a lot about that. Why? I think it's because I know how precious time is. I think the watch is a great symbol for time and life.
Yeah, I think it is a great symbol for time and life, but I think when we're impulsively buying watches, and I see this in the store, I see a lot of people impulsively buying watches who are trying to buy time. And I'll do that.
Well, now you have a blog and a podcast, and we'll post all of that on our website so people I think you still have your podcast, right? You're doing a podcast from time to time?
Yes, I do.
And you're still doing the blog?
I do indeed. MatthewKelly.com.
MatthewKelly.com. So make sure we get that posted. So that's it for today. We've been talking with Matthew Kelly, one of the great thought leaders of our time and the author of 45 books. Thank you, Matthew, very much for joining us. You're a hard guy to get. I'm glad I got you on the show. And he's already agreed he's going to come back because we want to talk about Dream Managers. So we'll do that sometime next year. If you missed any of this show, you'll find a link to this show on our website, thementorsradio.com. We will also include show notes and links to the books, to his blog, to his podcast, and that's, again, thementorsradio.com. Join us next week at the same time for the next edition of The Mentors Radio. Until then, this is Tom Boyd, signing off for today. Remember, to be all you can be and keep the candle lit for all who struggle in the darkness.
It's been The Mentors, where remarkable CEOs challenge your thinking about life and business. To get more information about the program or a sponsor, to download a podcast of today's show, or to leave a question for our host, go to thementorsradio.com. That's www.thementorsradio.com. The preceding program copyright CBJ LLC. All rights reserved.
There's no faster way to understand the issues of our day than listening to the Dinesh D'Souza podcast every day on the Salem Podcast Network.
Dr. Gorka here, and I want to talk to you for a minute about 100% drug-free Relief Factor. I've been taking Relief Factor for years now to help me deal with pain in my body. My wife takes it as well. The reason we tell everyone we know about it is simple. We found it really works to help our bodies fight off the inflammation that causes aches and pains. Whether it's the pain of injuries you've sustained or just the natural pain from the mileage over the years, Relief Factor can help. I've never looked back. Almost 70% of the more than 500,000 people who have tried Relief Factor end up ordering more. That's because it works for them the way it works for me. Isn't it time for you to get out of pain? Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the 3-week quick start for the discounted price of only $9. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference.
Find us at 860amtheanswer.com. Stream us 24/7 or watch us at snc.tv. KTRB San Francisco. 860 AM The Answer.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. Former Vice President Mike Pence ending his bid for the White House.
This is not my time.
At the Republican Jewish Coalition Candidate Forum in Las Vegas,
I have decided to suspend my campaign for president effective today.
Mike Pence becomes the first major candidate to leave the race that's been dominated by his former boss, Donald Trump. Pence failed to gain traction in the polls and struggled with fundraising and support.
I will never stop fighting to elect principled Republican leaders to every office in the land.
The withdrawal is a huge blow for the politician who spent years as Donald Trump's most loyal lieutenant. I'm Jackie Quinn.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu laying it on the line today, telling his nation the military has opened a second stage in the war against Hamas by sending ground forces into Gaza and expanding attacks from the ground, sea, and air. And he's promising this action will only increase ahead of a broad ground invasion into the territory. Also at townhall.com, the watchdog for U.S. assistance to Afghanistan warning the Taliban are benefiting from international aid through the establishment of fraudulent non-governmental groups. The Taliban have exerted greater control over national and international NGOs since seizing power in August 2021. They have barred Afghan women from NGO work and sought to push out foreign organizations from the education sector. A report by the U.S. Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction said the Taliban extort and infiltrate existing NGOs to obtain or direct international donor aid. That is Jeremy House reporting. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Dr. Gorka here, and you know me. I am very cynical about products, especially those that claim to help people suffering from pain. So when I tell you that Relief Factor truly works, I want you to know that I mean it. I suffered from a stiff lower back for almost a decade, one so painfully made it difficult to kneel in church on Sundays. When I finally decided to give Relief Factor a try, I didn't ever imagine that I would find myself free of the pain. But that's what happened. Now I take Relief Factor every day. Almost 70% of the more than 500,000 people who have tried Relief Factor end up ordering more. That's because it works for them the way it worked for me. Isn't it time for you to get out of pain? Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the free liquid. In 1995. Go to relieffactor.com or
At least 32 people have been killed in a massive traffic accident in Egypt. Many more have been injured. Authorities say those numbers are likely to climb for the rest of the day and into tonight. That in a country that has a dismal record for highway fatalities.
Egyptian authorities are saying more than 30 are dead after a passenger bus slammed into a parked vehicle in foggy weather conditions on a desert highway that links the capital, Cairo, and the Mediterranean city of Alexandria. The health ministry confirms more than 60 are injured. Reports say the bus was on its way to Cairo when hitting the parked vehicle, with other cars slamming into the bus and catching fire. Videos show many burning vehicles, with firefighters extinguishing flames. Traffic accidents claim thousands of lives every year in Egypt, known for a poor transport safety record. Prior to the incident, there were warnings of heavy fog in the area. I'm Mimi Montgomery.
Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Now here's one way to tackle the job. New York City is offering migrants one-way plane tickets to anywhere they want to go in the world. That in an effort to ease the burden on the Big Apple.
City Hall says it's setting up a new reticketing center in Manhattan as the latest bid to ease pressure on its shelters and its finances following the arrival of more than 130,000 asylum seekers since last year. Democratic Mayor Eric Adams describes the situation as a crisis and warns that shelters are so full, migrants will be forced onto the street as winter approaches. There's already a time limit on how long they can stay in them. The offer of free one-way plane tickets is the latest effort to relocate asylum seekers, a move that has not always gone over well. Julie Walker, New York.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
Draco Electronics LLC in Fremont, California is looking for a product design engineer to mentor junior team members and non-technical professional team members. Requires bachelor's in electrical engineering or related field. 5% domestic travel. Offered wage $93,267 per year. Wage range is $93,267 to $98,000 per year. Resume to info@dracoelectronics.com.
Find us at 860 AM theanswer.com. Stream us 24/7 or watch us at snc.tv. KTRB, San Francisco. 860 AM The Answer.
The opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily the opinions of Salem Media Group, its employees, or advertisers. Sponsored by Purity Products.
The following is a paid advertisement by Purity Products. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases.
Hello and welcome to Healthline by Purity Products. I am your host, Steve Summers. I'm going to tell you, we have got a fascinating show for you today. Now, if you're like most people, you may have noticed that when you hit 50, it kind of hit the wall. You know, between your joints, the heart, the brain, your eyes, your energy, you name it. Now, when you hit 50, you have to pay attention to your health. You all know that. So whether you're 40 or 50 or say in your 60s or 70s or even older for that matter, our guest today says he's discovered something that you can unlock the key to feeling better at any age. This is exciting. What is it? What are we talking about? Why do you need to know about this? Well, stay tuned. Dr. Neil Levin is on the line here. Dr. Neil Levin is a chiropractor. He's a nutritionist. He's a longtime advisor for Purity Products. Welcome, Dr. Levin. So great to have you back on the show today. This is a big story, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, Steve. And let's get right to the chase here. That discovery you talked about at the top there, that's krill oil, because krill oil is simply amazing for us. It's great for the heart, great for the joints, fantastic for the brain, for the eyes. I mean, I have people coming into my clinic every single day, and they want to feel better. I mean, they want to feel physically better, their joints to feel comfortable, but they want to stay mentally sharp. They want to keep that brain thinking like it did when they were younger. They want to protect themselves from coronary heart disease and maintain those flexible, healthy, youthful arteries for wonderful circulation. Hey, Steve, they want to boost their energy. And you know, why not? I mean, we deserve it. And that's what we're going to be talking about here today with this Krill Omega 50 Plus, which is the cutting-edge combination, Steve, of krill oil, which is so fabulous for us. But we've infused the krill oil. Now, this is so important. We've infused the krill oil with the high omega-3 concentrated fish oil. You need to do that when you're dealing with krill, because krill just isn't high enough in omega-3. There's so many other important parameters and virtues, but you got to get that high omega-3 fish oil in there, and we've done that. So this is now the best of both worlds. But we didn't stop there. For the 50-plussers, we've added some vitamin D. We doubled the antioxidant power, and Steve, we actually increased the amount of krill by 67%. So this now becomes the finest omega-3 nutrient in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
This is very, very exciting. This krill oil sensation, I mean, it is all over the news, Dr. Neil Levin. Great studies are out there. Many experts are declaring that krill oil is better than fish oil. So give us this lowdown on this Krill Omega 50 Plus formula.
Right. Steve, you know, if I told you that there's this one tiny pill that benefits the joints and the brain and memory, mood, coronary heart disease, wonderful for the arteries, makes your hair shine, great for the skin. I mean, what would you say to that?
Hey, where can I get this?
Right, and we have it. It's Krill Omega 50 Plus, and we're going to give it to everybody for free today. And that's really cool, because Purity wants everybody to try this, because they know they're going to see a huge difference. But get this, on top of that, for the first 1,000 people that call today, we're giving away a second gift, because I just demanded this. You know, when we're dealing with the 50-plussers, and, you know, if you're 40 and you feel like your energy is low, this is for you also. But for people 50 and over, we're also giving away free B12 energy melts. I demanded this because, hey, as we're getting a little older, we don't absorb that B12 as well, and I want you to feel the benefits from this Krill Omega 50 Plus. I'm going to jack up those B12 levels for you today as well. You know, what a value proposition.
You know, when it comes to your health, it really is a win-win. This is amazing. I heard you say that this can actually reduce the risk of coronary heart disease. When you hear that, whose ears don't perk up after that? How does it work anyway?
Right. Well, Krill Omega 50 Plus, remember, this is the combination of krill oil with the high omega-3, highly concentrated fish oil. So it's much higher in omega-3s than most krill oil formulas would be. So when we're dealing with the high omega-3 fish oil, we're talking about support for the HDL cholesterol, healthy, youthful, flexible arteries. That's so great for the circulation, heart muscle strength, platelet activity, red blood cells that stay nice and soft and flexible so they can work their way through those little capillaries. Oh, what about triglycerides? That becomes so important. So this Krill Omega 50 Plus supports the heart in so many ways. And you know, the bottom line is, we need to think about this, because as we're getting a little older, 50 plus, maybe mid-40s, certainly 60s and 70s, it's decision time. I mean, you know your body's not working the way it did when you were in your 30s. The energy might not be there. You need to make a decision. Are you going to take it laying down and just let yourself get old, or are you going to do something about it? Are you going to stay physically active? Are you going to do the things you need to stay healthy? And getting these omega-3s, the krill oil, the vitamin D, the antioxidants make such a difference. This is a game changer for anybody in that 50-plus age group.
Doc, this is absolutely great information. I know that omega-3s are best known for their cardiovascular benefits, and they're certainly also known as brain food. Now, we've discussed this in some of the past shows. If you would, touch on the brain benefits for our listeners listening out there today, and tell us why you say that supplementing with omega-3 isn't just a good idea for the brain, but an absolute necessity.
Oh, this is such an important point that you're bringing up. Absolutely. For brain health, we must get these omega-3s back in there. You know, when you think about omega-3s and you think about brain health and memory and mood and feeling sharp, you really want to single out the DHA component. That's the docosahexaenoic acid. You know what, Steve? Your brain is 60% fat by weight, and of that, 25% needs to be DHA. You know what I use an analogy in my practice? People understand calcium and bone health, right? If you don't have calcium in your diet, and you don't supplement with calcium, your bones are going to get brittle and weak. That's what happens to bones. Bones need calcium for their normal strength and structure. Now, with the brain, it's the same. DHA for normal structure. We use this for one brain neuron to communicate with another, to build out the brain, the serotonin, the dopamine, all the feel-good neurotransmitters. So must have it, must get it back in there. So important. And with this Krill Omega 50 Plus, we've increased the level of DHA because we put the concentrated omega-3s in there. Now, with Krill Omega 50 Plus, you're going to get 130 milligrams of DHA per serving, Steve.
Wow.
The leading brand of krill oil, you're going to get 24. 24 in the leading brand, you're going to get 130 with Krill Omega 50 Plus. That's why this is so incredible for the brain.
This is absolutely exciting. I got to tell you, though, during the last krill show that we did together, you totally shocked me, Doc. I remember this specifically. You said that.
Tell me, I'm on the edge of my seat. What did I say?
You said, and I remember that the studies show that krill oil improves joint comfort in just 7 days. Now, if the benefits for the brain and the heart didn't perk my ears up, that certainly would. If you would touch on the study and tell us how this works.
Right. That was a great study. In fact, that's the reason I started taking krill oil about 5-6 years ago. Pilot study, double-blind, placebo-controlled, exactly what you want to see out of the Journal of the American College of Nutrition. Now, participants got 300 milligrams of krill oil or placebo. Now, remember, in Krill Omega 50 Plus, we're giving you even more. We're giving you 500 milligrams of krill oil, so even more potent. But the participants in the study that got the krill oil got some amazing joint benefits, Steve. Get this, in just 7 days, and you remember this from the last show, but in just 7 days, they were 28% more comfortable. That's a jaw dropper. When I read that, I immediately went out and bought my first bottle of krill oil. But after 30 days, they were 38% more comfortable. The researchers didn't stop there. They looked at flexibility of the joints. They looked at function of the joints, all improved. And I call this the krill oil advantage. So if you're out there and you're taking fish oil, well, fish oil is great. I mean, fish oil is in here. It's so important. But you're not going to get the same joint advantages just on krill. You're not going to experience this joint comfort benefit that we get specifically from the krill. And remember, in Krill Omega 50 Plus, we've jacked up the levels of the krill. 67. So in terms of dosage, fantastic.
That's big. That is absolutely big. Hey, I was on the website, and the testimonials on the Krill Omega 50 Plus, they're incredible. I mean, people obviously love this product. I'd like to share a couple of my favorites here.
Sure.
Believer writes this. She's a female aged 45 to 54 from Georgia. She rates it 5 out of 5 stars. She writes, "This has helped. Less grind on my knees when climbing up the steps. Beneficial to my overall health, both physically and mentally. I just feel better," is what she said. Also, Safety Susan, age 55 to 64 from Sacramento, California. She writes to 5 out of 5 stars. "I was a little worried about fishy aftertaste. However, I have not burped it even once. Because I like it better than regular fish oil. The capsule size is smaller and it's easy to swallow." This is big. The capsule size is smaller.
You know, and I'm really glad you picked that one out because Safety Suzanne picks out a very important point there. I don't think we really harped on this enough because people have trouble swallowing those huge horse pills, you know, those huge omega-3 pills. These are tiny. So this is why this is such a breakthrough. These capsules are so small and easy to swallow. Anybody can easily swallow them. But at the same time, we've increased the dosage of krill by 67%. We've boosted the antioxidant power. The vitamin D is in there. We supercharged the whole thing with the high omega-3, highly concentrated fish oil. So important for the heart. So, yeah, Safety Suzanne, she really nailed it there. I want to read one more. This one in front of me, Blessed. She's in the 55 to 64 age bracket. Fort Worth, Texas, 5 out of 5 stars. She writes, I was experiencing brain fog. I couldn't remember things at work, felt I was slowing down mentally. Purity was offering a free bottle. I've been taking it for a year, and I swear by it, I have experienced a difference in my brain and body. Good for you, Blessed. You know what? I'm not surprised at these testimonials at all because, again, I take this product myself. It's fabulous. My patients love the Krill Omega 50 Plus. They feel it in their joints. They feel it in their brain. They feel it in their energy, their circulation. They just feel better. That's what everybody tells me when they get this Krill Omega 50 Plus.
Now, Dr. Neil, talk for a minute, if you would, about the B12 energy altitude. This is really